The best personal finance books of all time. Here's 5 books that changed my life. I believe you can learn more about finances by reading a book than going to college. And a book only costs $10 to $20. That's a very small cost to pay for something that could change your life. I'm Tim Wolf, and this channel is all about personal finance, investing, budgeting, weekly videos to help you grow your money so that you can grow your influence. Please consider subscribing so you won't miss a video. These books will give you the tools and the principles you need so that you can succeed in whatever you want to succeed in. The links to the 5 books mentioned in this video will all be down below in the description box, so you can click on those and check them out. I used to hate reading until I realized that successful people learn how to be successful. It wasn't just given to them. And the way they learn to be successful is by studying successful people who have already done that. The easiest way to do it is just read a book. It's amazing to me that the return on investment for a $10 book could literally be millions of dollars. So first book is gonna be Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And this book is gonna be my must read. Here's a quote from the book. The pattern of get up, go to work, pay bills, get up, go to work, pay bills. People's lives are forever controlled by 2 emotions, fear and greed. Offer them more money and they continue the cycle by increasing their spending. This is what I call the rat race. There is another way, Mike asked. Yes, said Rich Dad slowly, but only a few people find it. And what way is that, Mike asked. That's what I hope you boys will learn as you work and study with me. So Robert talks about in this book growing up with a poor dad, which is his biological actual father that he lives with, who has tons of degrees, he's a teacher, and in the eyes of the world he may seem pretty successful, but he has no money left over at the end of his paycheck. Robert also has another father figure in his life, and this is his rich dad, and this is going to be his buddy's father. And his buddy's father never even finished high school. But over time, he accumulated so many businesses and stores and stuff like that in town that he became one of the wealthiest people that Robert ever knew. And he left behind a legacy. So the book will show you how to get out of the rat race, how to think like wealthy people think and stop thinking like lower and middle class think. It talks about assets and liabilities, how wealthy people put all their money into assets and poor people put all their money into liabilities. So poor people keep spending money on things that give them no return. On the other hand, wealthy people invest first into assets such as real estate, businesses, and investment accounts. And then through the money that is made by those assets, they pay for the liabilities they have. The second book is gonna be The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. This book is my eye-opener read. If at any point in this video you get value out of it, you learn something, you like what I'm saying, you've read one of these books, please go ahead, hit that thumbs up button, that like button. I appreciate it. Straight from the book, The Normal American Family. It seemed every month I sat at the same table with the same worries, fears, and problems. I had too much debt, too little savings, and no sense of control over my life. No matter how hard I worked, it seemed I couldn't win. I was forever to be a slave to some banker, to the government, and the needs of my family. When Sharon and I talked about money, we ended up in a fight, leaving her feeling afraid and me feeling inadequate. The next car purchase, the next house, the kids' college, our entire future seemed out of reach. In this book, Dave Ramsey, one of the most famous financial talk show host guys of all time, describes 7 baby steps that you need to take to be financially successful. Number 1, save $1,000. Number 2, pay off all your debt as fast as possible. Number 3, save up an emergency fund of 6 months of expenses. Number 4, invest 15% into retirement. Number 5, save up for your kids' college. Step 6, pay off your mortgage as quickly as possible with any money that's left over. And step 7, build extraordinary wealth and be outrageously generous. This book is a really easy read and it's super practical. It talks about a lot of countercultural type things you need to do if you have debt right now, like student loans, car loans, or things like that, credit card debt. This book will help you pay that off as quickly as possible and teach you how to start investing for your future. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This book is my thought-provoking read. And here's a quote from the book. I had learned from years of experience with people that when a person really desires a thing so deeply that they are willing to stake their entire future on a single turn of the wheel, in order to get it, they are sure to win. I gave him the opportunity he asked for because I saw he had made up his mind to stand by until he succeeded. So this book is really interesting and teaches you how to change the way you think, how to will yourself into growing rich, how to control your thoughts and use them to your advantage, and how to become an unstoppable force. Napoleon Hill, the author, developed this book after decades of studying the 500 most successful people in history, to include Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and John Rockefeller. The 4-Hour Workweek by Timothy Ferriss. This book is my fun read. A quote from the book: "The stars will never align and the traffic lights of life will never all be green at the same time. The universe doesn't conspire against you, but it doesn't go out of its way to line up the pins either. Conditions are never perfect. Someday is a disease that will take your dreams to the grave with you. Pro and con lists are just as bad. If it's important to you and you want to do it, eventually, just do it now and correct course along the way." This book teaches you how to eliminate unnecessary things in your life, automate as much as possible, and create the least stressful life that you can live. It talks about Pareto's Law, which is also known as the 80-20 rule, which states 20% of the work that you do produces 80% of the profits, or 20% of the clothes you have is what you wear 80% of the time. So 20% of what you do makes up for 80% of the happiness you have. So Pareto's Law and this book talks about how to use that 80-20 rule to your advantage. It also talks about Parkinson's Law, which says the work you have, whatever amount of time you give yourself to complete that work, is whatever amount of time you'll actually take to complete it. For example, if you have 1 week to write a paper for school, you're gonna take an entire week to write that paper. However, if you give yourself 2 hours to write the same paper, you're only gonna take 2 hours to write the paper. So it talks about time efficiency laws like that and how to use those to your advantage. 4-Hour Workweek also talks about some pretty cool travel ideas, some travel tips, some work tips. It even talks about how to travel internationally whenever you want and still keep the job you have right now. Last book is gonna be The Everyday Millionaire by Chris Hogan. This is gonna be my beginner read book. This book is a study of over 10,000 millionaires who Chris calls everyday millionaires because they're people just like you and me. He found that the top 3 occupations that created millionaires were engineers, accountants, and teachers. This book has a lot of statistics and data in it to help prove the point that no matter what you've been given in life or no matter where you started, you can become an everyday millionaire. Some statistics from the book: 79% of millionaires did not attend a prestigious private school. Only 32% took out student loans. 1/3 of millionaires never had a $100,000 income in a single year. Only 31% averaged $100,000 a year, and only 7% averaged $200,000 a year. If you have a personal finance book that you think should be added to this list at any time during this video, go ahead and comment below. I'm curious to see what books you guys like. Click the links down below and you can grab one of the books. Thanks for watching, guys.